It's time once again for That Business Show with Jamie Maloney on 1250 Wins WHNZ, where business becomes show business. Jamie is a leading Tampa Bay real estate agent and featured on the Wall Street Journal's list of top 100 real estate agents in the nation. Jamie invites you to list your home with him today and learn more at tampabayradio.com. Now, live in studio and promoting the entrepreneurial spirit that drives the American economy, your host, Jamie Maloney.
Hey, good morning, everybody, and thanks for starting the day with That Business Show with Jamie Maloney, where business becomes show business. And we're live in studio here this morning. We're a little concerned yesterday, might not be able to get into the studio, but it's kind of dry out there right now. So South Tampa seems to be under control for the time being. As many of y'all know, we're down here in the station on Gandy, so we got to watch the rain when it comes down into this area. But for now, the roads are pretty clear. A lot of people are taking the day off, it seems. I got down here pretty quick today. Not too much traffic out there on the interstate. But we are here live in studio, and we're here each and every morning, Monday through Friday, 7 to 9, and also live stream available over at tampabayradio.com. Join in
Monday.
Studio. What's that?
I said except Monday.
Except Monday. What do you mean
Labor
Monday?
Day.
Oh, yeah. Well, this coming Monday. Yeah, that is true. We're going to have a rerun on the radio show or on the air, but not on the live stream. So live stream won't be available on Monday. That is a holiday. One of the few days we do take off here on the radio show. In studio this morning, Frank Coto is joining me as co-host this morning. Frank, good morning to you.
Good morning, Jamie. Always happy to be here.
And Frank is the president of Lincoln Lending Group and also hosts his own show, the Business Happy Hour. So, Frank, tell us a little bit about the Business Happy Hour.
Yeah, absolutely, Jamie. The Business Happy Hour is Tampa's newest exciting business show. We air live on the internet every Friday at 12:30. You can find us on tbhh.tv, or you can go to WeBeam TV, the other internet TV channel that you use as well. Mm-hmm. You can also find us on Facebook. Just Google the Business Happy Hour or the businesshappyhour.tv, and you'll find myself and my two hosts. We have a good time on the show. We get a little political.
Yeah, no, it's not so much business. It's more political and just raucous fun and everything. And that's spun off of our real estate show we were doing together and stuff. And you're also on the airwaves on Sunday mornings at 5 a.m., correct?
That's right, yep.
So it's live on the internet. And so tell me, what was like one of the latest shows that you had? What were some of the topics of discussion there? What did you get off onto?
Well, besides totally knocking down Hillary and Barack and all the our favorite people on the other side of the aisles. Yeah, we got Josh chiming in, of course, from time to time here. We don't give him a mic on our show, but
no, they don't let you talk over there, huh? They keep you the mute guy over there, huh?
There isn't enough microphones, so I just yell.
Enough.
I just scream across the room, and it comes through anyway.
We need to introduce him to Charlie the plumber, put him on the show.
Actually,
you met Charlie.
I did, yeah. We should have him on my show.
He'll take over your show, though. I'm just warning you right there. You open up the mic and tell him that he can talk politics. He could have his own show, man. He'd be going for hours.
I think Frank will give Charlie a run for his money, to be honest. By the way, Frank, your skills at staring at the camera is like phenomenal these days. So all that time on the show, you're getting really good at it.
See this?
You can train monkeys to do
813 more.
Everybody watching today, we got the 813 mortgage shirt on. That's right.
And that is his
no Trump hat.
I know, no Trump hat today. I felt like I wasn't going to push the politics on Jamie this morning.
Me and Frank are both in casual, where he's in shirts, t-shirts, and a t-shirt and shorts, and I'm in beat up jeans and an old raggedy shirt here myself.
Hurricane,
Yeah, I'm probably going to drive back home after this. Our office is closed. Center Club is closed till 2:00 today. So all my hangouts are down right now.
I'll tell you what's not closed: Lincoln Lending Group. You hear that, employees? If you're listening right now, that is the one thing that's not closed. The roads are clear. There's no kids out there for school. I expect you to be at the office about 30 minutes early today, making mortgages great again at Lincoln Lending Group.
I just showed Frank a meme, and it had like a flooded street, and it said Tampa Bay bosses be like, "You coming to work, right?" Yeah. Frank's like, "Forward me that."
Yeah, that was yesterday. I don't know about any other business owners listening, but I'm sure all of us got the same thing yesterday when they were saying, "Oh, boss, I don't know. It's going to be pretty rough tomorrow. We got the kids home from
right.
school." I'm like, "Yeah, you're going to get in your car and you're going to drive your blank to the office. Is what's going to happen." He's got an SUV. Come on.
So we got a good show planned for you today. Let's go ahead and bring in our guest for the remainder of the hour. We got Mark Ensign. He is a consultant, writer, and speaker, and owner of Mark Ensign, digital marketing strategist. And you can learn more about him at markensign.com. Mark, welcome to the program today.
Thanks a lot, guys. I appreciate it.
And his the last name, it means the lowest lowest ranking officer inside a naval facility, too, we came to find out. Ensign or Ensign, that's how you spell his last name. But I didn't even realize this, and I brought this up because I used to play a video game, and that was I thought it was like a higher level rank that I used to try to achieve. But
Jamie always thought he was doing better on the game than he actually was.
So it's pretty much down there.
So, but no, nonetheless, though, he's a high achieving individual, despite the last name, which means the lowest ranking individual, though. So just one of the conundrums of life that he has to deal with,
welcome
right?
to that business show, my friend.
Where you never know what we're going to hit you with.
Boy, I feel great about myself already.
The lowest ranking officer, we're on the lowest ranking business show. And
That's all. We're all about low ranks. We're all about low standards here on that business
he brought the
show.
worst mortgage company in the whole town over here.
My new favorite band is a band called Sloppy Seconds.
and that's been the story of Josh's life.
So, Mark, tell us a little bit more about yourself and your business.
Sure. So I started my business about 15 years ago. Or I started my life in internet marketing about 15 years ago as a web design and eventually an SEO guy. And over the course of 15 years, grew the business nice and big, and recently started exiting that business in order to, kind of change my focus. We did work for plastic surgeons and real estate agents and mortgage guys, and and it wasn't inspiring enough to me. No offense, guys. You offended me, so it's only fair that I offend you back.
Hey, I'm a realtor. I understand it, man. I don't take
not exciting.
So it wasn't inspiring to me, and I wanted to do something that was going to make a difference. So I started focusing on how can I help folks that are out there that want to make a difference, speakers, authors, artists, people that have a message, and that mission-driven CEO kind of thing. And so what I'm doing now is I'm helping them create additional revenue streams through product development, helping them get their message out by blowing up their branding and their message and getting it out to the public.
Now, you have a background, though, in Broadway, though. You performed on Rent. So take me through this. Was that like something that you just had a love of acting in Broadway coming out of school, and then you got into business? Tell me about this.
Well, I can't act my way out of a paper bag, although I'm a good liar, according to my wife. I actually started off my life as a musician. I went to Berklee College of Music in Boston, and I graduated in '93 with this idea, this dream that I was going to work on Broadway.
Okay, so you're a musician on Broadway. You weren't one of the actors.
Oh,
okay,
yeah,
I'm
a trained musician.
Okay.
I play electric bass. And I had this. It was weird that I wanted to work on Broadway because I'd never been to a Broadway show before. But I figured it was like one of those impossible goals that would keep me busy for a while. And I was too stupid to think that I could actually get the gig. So that's kind of how it all started. And this is 90. By the time I really started to pursue it was probably around 95, and there was no such thing as the internet. Well, I mean, the internet existed, but it was all chat rooms and porn, and
right.
And I exhausted all that.
Right.
Josh is like, what happened to that internet?
I thought it was still all that.
There's other things called websites. Oh, okay. Go ahead.
So I ended up. I ended up going into the city every day in order to steal a playbill from the theater for each of the shows. So that was kind of my plan. I didn't know where it was going to go, but every night I would go into the theater, and I convince somebody that paid a ticket to get into the show to give me their playbill, and then I'd leave. And so I collected 15, 20 playbills over the course of a couple weeks, and then went into the union, local 802, and asked to join the union. And it was, it's one of those catch-22s. You can't join the union unless you have the gig. You can't get the gig without joining the union. Mm-hmm. And the reason I wanted to join the union was because they give you a book with all of the names, addresses, and phone numbers of all the musicians. So I have the playbill that has everybody's name, and I need the book so I can contact everybody.
Sounds like a creeper kit.
Oh, I was totally. I'm not gonna lie. I was a complete stalker.
It's play Bill, Josh. Play Bill. Come on.
So you're getting into all these performances here, kind of just like acting like as a fraud, basically. Totally fraudulent.
Well, and it gets worse. I become even much more of a fraud. And
no, this is going good.
No, go ahead. Yeah, so go ahead and continue.
So I
like an AA meeting or something.
Right. So I go into I can't get a copy of the book from because I can't go join the union. So I go back into the city with a wire cutter, and I stole a phone book from the bus station. I was chained to a phone booth, and this is '95, so
Yeah.
they had phone
when
booths.
they still had phone booths.
Now they can't give them away, but like at the time, like they were chained to the phone booth. So I stole a phone book, and I found about like 60% of the people were in the phone book. So I just started calling, and kind of like just cold calling all these people, sending them my resume.
You like scary movies?
There was one restraining order, but I just kept hounding and pressing and calling, and everybody was hanging up on me, telling me I sucked and I wasn't good enough, and I was too young, not experienced enough. I heard it all. It was just a daily kick in the teeth.
What were you calling them? Do you calling them? Say, hey, can I get a gig on your show? Is it?
Yeah, pretty much. Like, hey, how do I? Basically, like looking back now, it was, hey, how do I replace you? So like it wasn't the best idea, but it kind of got me.
It got your name out there,
right?
That's
so
that guy.
So I end up, I end up getting in touch with a guy that tells me that he's like, look, you got to join the union if you want to. If I can't help you until you join the union. So I went back to the union. I told him that he was a big producer, and I told him that he told me to join the union. So they assumed that meant I had a show, and they let me in, and so that's how I got in the union. And then it was just a matter of getting back in touch with him. He told me to contact all the bass players. He's like, you got to contact bass players, ask them if you could sub the gig. That's your that's all you have to do. Mm-hmm. So I said, okay, great. So same kick in the teeth. Everybody just telling me to take a hike. Don't want anything to do with me. I'm too young, too inexperienced, not good enough. All that kind of stuff.
Wonder if that works with some women's boyfriends. Be like, hey man, can
I sub the gig.
Need some help?
Josh, you're never coming over for dinner.
So you got in the union. So how much longer before you landed the gig in Rent then?
I end up reaching out to all the bass players. They want nothing to do with me. And so I call them back a couple of weeks later and tell everybody that I'm writing an article for Bass Player Magazine, the big bass magazine at the time, about what it's like to work on Broadway. And so now, like musicians, their number one quality is significance. Like that's what they're looking for. So, so everybody was like, "Yeah, I'd love to be in the article. What do you need?" So, my deal was I get to sit in the pit of the show and watch the show. I get a copy of the music. I get a 1-hour interview, and you introduce me to everybody in the show.
Oh, no way.
So every single one of them said okay.
Hey, you shouldn't be saying this over the air because you're ruining a lot of groupies right now. That's all I had to do.
That's it. That's all you got to do.
Wow, that's an incredible story of thinking outside of the box and being persistent in what it can get you. So we got a lot more with Mark when we come back from the break. Again, you're currently listening to That Business Show with Jamie Maloney, where business becomes show business.
Are you in need of new flooring or ready to tackle that home remodeling project? Then contact Yeager & Company Incorporated, a family-owned, state-certified general contracting business with over 70 years of experience and the recipient of the Angie's List Super Service Award for the last 8 years in multiple categories. Yeager & Company comes to you with their shop-at-home flooring sales service, and their hardwood flooring refinishing is the very best in the Bay. Kitchen and bath design featuring American-made, well-born cabinets, and all work is done by employees, not subcontractors. Learn more at YeagerFlooring.com. Did you know the biggest challenge business leaders face today is creating an engaged and productive workforce culture? Bill Meyer Ham Consulting wants to help you solve this challenge. They will help you transform your workforce culture to produce amazing business results. Call Bill Meyer Ham Consulting at 941-201-4650 today or visit BillMeyerHam.com. That's BillMeyerHam.com. Have a conversation. What's up, business rock stars? Are you ready to bring out the CEO in you? Join Julianne Nichols, CEO of Focus on You Strategy, every other Friday on That Business Show. She'll be talking with other chief entrepreneurial officers about how they grew their businesses. Remember, you could join the conversation at Focus on You Strategies Focus Fridays Facebook group at facebook.com/groups/Focus Fridays. That's facebook.com/groups/Focus Fridays. Be the CEO of you. How many times have you said to yourself, I wish there was an app for that? Stop wishing and start making the world better. Turn your brilliant idea into a profitable business by using Popcorn apps. Their affordable app design will help get your blue sky idea or proven business to the next level at a fraction of the cost of other developers. They will help you get through all the steps needed to make your thoughts become live. See them at popcornapps.com with a K in popcorn, or call them at 727-415-6705 for your free consultation and pop your kernel of an idea into $1 million business and a world changer starting today.
I knew Mom wanted to stay at home. It's the center of her family, her life. But helping Mom stay in her home while managing mine was just too much. Honestly, it wasn't just about me. Mom didn't want me to be her caretaker. She wanted me to be her daughter. I felt so alone until I found out about Home Instead Senior Care. When we met the people at Home Instead, we just knew they were different. The experience was personal. And most importantly, for Mom and me, I get to be her daughter again.
Home Instead Senior Care. To us, it's personal.
Who doesn't have a smartphone these days? And of course, there's an app for everything. Well, almost everything. That's why the folks at Popcorn Apps started developing mobile applications. They saw people like you with genius ideas, unable to make those thoughts a reality. They develop applications for tens of thousands of dollars less than you'll find anywhere else, and will turn your idea into a reality in a matter of just a few months. Think you're not ready? Think again. They are your one-stop shop for mobile application development. See them at popcornapps.com with a K in popcorn, or call them at 727-415-6705 for your free consultation and pop your kernel of an idea into $1 million business and a world changer starting today.
In an age when the good and the better vie for attention, it is the best that stands out. The Best of Tampa Bay from Proudly Florida is the love story for the city of Tampa, celebrating success, sharing achievements, a tribute to enterprise and community spirit. Let Proudly Florida showcase your business to your city, your nation, and the world. For more information, email info@proudlyflorida.com and be sure to visit proudlyflorida.com.
From the Bright House Networks Traffic Center.
Traffic rather light on the interstates around Tampa Bay. In fact, no delays on 275 or I-4 into downtown Tampa. Crash still being cleared on southbound 50th Street right around 10th Avenue South. Also one on Gibsonton Drive just east of I-75. See traffic problems? Call the injury firm of Abrahamson Urich. Hillsborough Traffic Tip Line 866-545-9595.
This report is brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service and the Ad Council. This weekend, unplug. Getting closer to nature can get you closer to your family. To find the forest nearest you, go to discovertheforest.org. That's discovertheforest.org.
Flood watch for the coastal counties. Tropical storm warning for Pasco County North. 80% chance of showers today, high 83. Tonight, some heavy downpours, low 78.
You're listening to That Business Show with Jamie Maloney on 1250 Wins WHNZ. Missed a show? Then head over to TampaBayRadio.com, where all shows are available on demand. Once again, here's your host, Jamie Maloney.
And we're back to That Business Show with Jamie Maloney, where business becomes show business. Alongside Frank Coto, president of the Lincoln Lending Group, as my co-host today. If you're in need of a mortgage, pick up the phone and give him a call at 813-MORTGAGE. You drop the E and he drops the fee, one of his many taglines, including if you need a bank, you need a Frank. So he can help you with all things related to mortgages, from conventional and FHA mortgages to maybe some private money and hard money sources as well. So Frank and his team, very experienced in the mortgage markets here in the Tampa region, and we've done a lot of deals with them. So definitely reach out to them and learn more over at lincolnlend.com. In studio, our guest for the show today, Mark Ensign, who is a consultant, writer, and speaker, and we also learned a fraudster as well with his time spent up on Broadway and getting into the play Rent. So talk to us a little bit more about this. You finally get into the pit and stuff, and did you? Right. How long did this go on for?
Well, I got to sit through all the shows, and I got to meet all the musicians and tell them I was writing this article. And about a month later, I started getting the calls of people asking where the article was. And there was no article. Like, that was, I didn't think that was going to get called out for it. But,
right.
It seemed like a good idea at the time. So I reached out to the magazine that I had told them that the article was coming out in. And
you actually told them that there was the specific magazine?
Oh, yeah. I told them what magazine it was, and
the best part of the break, I asked him if he even had credentials when he was going into all these shows. He's like, no, what, they met you at the door and escorted you right in.
Yeah, you ruined it for all groupies.
I love this. Yeah.
All right, so time comes now for the article to come due, and
so I call the magazine. I tell them I get in touch with the editor, and I tell them that I have this. I'm friends with everybody on Broadway, and I want to write this art. I wrote this article, and they said we'll take it, and they offered me $350. I was going to give it to them for free. I just needed to save face.
You're like, I feel really, really bad about this.
Right. So they're like, I was like $350. Like, all right. And so I end up selling them the article. The article comes out probably a couple months later. Makes it on the cover. So it was like a significant article. And so I send out a copy to everybody with a little Post-it note that says, "Can I sub for your show now?" And it was this really awkward moment where I had, I did this whole song that, like, we're a year into this thing. Yeah. And I finally make good and I do something, valuable for these guys. But, like, there's this thing where I have one hand, out, like now that I did that for you, you owe me. Mm-hmm. Right. And so, like, if they hated me before, like, they just despised me now because, like, man, this guy was kind of cool for a little while there. And that was all an act. Yeah. So I just lost everybody. Like, I just lost every chance I had. And there was one guy that was that reached out, and he was really like over the top, like, grateful, and he wasn't offended by my little Post-it note. So I offered to take him out to dinner where I could really sell him, on this idea of me taking his gig,
so taking his job.
We go out to dinner and I'm talking to him about it, and the guy's just gushing over this magazine article, and I find out that his dad is a bass player, or was a bass player, and he played with Jim Croce and Bob Dylan and all these, like, amazing artists. And because back then in the 70s they never included the names, 60s and 70s, they never included the names in the liner notes, and so his dad kind of went unsung. Like, he was this guy that you just never heard of, and he didn't, he never received any notoriety for all the records that he played on, and he died. So he died, this unknown guy. And so he was really happy about the article because he wasn't living into his dad's footsteps, which I thought was really kind of cool. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So before I could even think, I was just like, we should write an article about your dad because I do that now.
Because I don't work for this magazine.
Right. Because I have absolutely no right to promise you this. Let's do it. And so I wrote an article called "The Most Famous Bass Player You've Never Heard of," and it was about this guy. And I wrote the article, and the magazine picked it up, and a couple months later, this new article comes out. And but this time I kind of learned my lesson. I sent it to him, and it was like this nice gesture. Like I gave first, right? And I just sent him the magazine, and never said anything. And a couple weeks later, he called up and he said, "All right, here's the deal." This was in November of '96, I think. So it was about a year and a half into this, and he's like, "I'm going on vacation in January," and I was like, "Yeah," and he's like, "And I'll give you the Sunday matinee." To sub for me, but here's the deal: if you blow it, I promise you're never going to work on Broadway again because everybody's dying to see what you do because, like, everybody kind of hates you. Yeah. So I was like, all right, I'll take it. And so so I had a 2-month time frame where I ran the show in my bedroom 3 times a day, and I put I kicked the music stand over to see if I could recover. I put flashlights in my eyes and I practiced the show so many times that when the day came in January, I had done it. I had already lived it. Like, I was good. Yeah. And so I showed up and I killed the show, became the sub, and then within 4 months I was on the road. I was here in Tampa during that time, and was on the road for about a year and a half, and then came back and subbing in New York, and yeah,
the rest was history.
The rest is history. Wow, that's an incredible story right there of thinking outside of the box and getting to where you want to be through unusual means. And so Mark Ensign with a tremendous story there.
Yeah, that's a very polite thing.
Coming back from the break, we're going to talk more about his business as it is today. And you're alongside Frank Coto, my co-host for the program as well. You're listening to That Business Show with Jamie Maloney, where business becomes show business.
I feel guilty that I can't always be there when Mom feels stuck at home. She was always there for us. But now she can't get out, and I'm not always available to take her places. Someone else needs to help her get around. Then I learned about Home Instead. Now Mom can do what she enjoys because her personal caregiver is there, and I can just be a daughter again.
Are you struggling to care for your loved one? We can help. Home Instead Senior Care. To us, it's personal.
Hi, welcome to Yeager's. We just want to take a minute and show you what we're all about. At Yeager's, our primary business is hardwood flooring, although we are remodelers for kitchen, bath, and general construction. We operate a fleet of shop-at-home vans that have all the flooring-type products, hardwood flooring, laminate flooring, tiles, stone, what have you. So we're able to come out first with products in our vehicles and take a look at the setting, how the colors will work, and then to be able to come up with some options and ideas for you. If that's not good enough, we have a large distribution center that we inventory product and have a nice display area.
And hurt recycling efforts. Return them to the store instead. Learn more at hcflgov.net/recycling or call 813-272-5680.
1250 Winds Weather Center forecast. Flood watch in effect through Friday for the entire Bay Area. Will be windy, cloudy, and rainy all day long. Low 80s for the high. Friday is going to be a bit nasty as well. Still seeing breezy conditions, rain chance high, mid-80s, and things start to clear out for the upcoming weekend. Impact Radio 1250 Winds, WHNZ.
You're listening to That Business Show with Jamie Maloney on 1250 Winds WHNZ. Missed a show? Then head over to TampaBayRadio.com, where all shows are available on demand. Once again, here's your host, Jamie Maloney.
And welcome back to That Business Show with Jamie Maloney, where business becomes show business. If you're finding us on the air for the first time, we're here Monday through Friday, 7 to 9. And also you can find the live video stream available over at TampaBayRadio.com. Also, all shows are available on demand over there. And please connect with us on the social media sites, Facebook.com/That Business Show. And also, if you would subscribe to our YouTube channel, simply titled Jamie Maloney, we would greatly appreciate that as we help the YouTube channel grow as well. So, again, if you could learn more about the program over by visiting TampaBayRadio.com. In studio today with Frank Coto, president of Lincoln Lending Group. He is acting as my co-host today, and he's also the host of the Business Happy Hour, which airs Sunday mornings at 5 a.m. from 5 to 6, and also live on the internet. What time are you broadcasting live on the internet?
Every Friday, 12:30.
Every Friday at 12:30. So it's a business talk show, but it's a lot more political flair to it. So Frank invites you to visit tbhh.tv, right? Thebusinesshappyhour.com. tbhh.tv, and also it's available on the radio Sunday mornings at 5 a.m. Our guest for the show today, Mark Ensign, consultant, writer, and speaker, and owner of Mark Ensign, digital marketing strategist, and you can learn more about him at markensign.com. Shared an amazing story with us in his days on Broadway, where he got into the production Rent. And so first off, how long did you stay on Broadway before, coming down to Tampa, or where you went to next and got into business?
Let's see. So I subbed the show for probably about a year before I had a chance to go on the road, and I spent about a year and a half on the road, and then came back and kind of back and forth subbing and whatnot. And then I started in business. Let's see, it was 2001.
So how did you leave the world of Broadway? Did you just leave on your own, or did you finally get thrown out of there, or what happened there?
Well, part of it, the show closed, so they didn't want me hanging around
The
anymore.
show closed,
so
okay, so that'll do it, okay.
So the Rent closed, but also at the same time, the show was still open when I started my business in 2001, but it was I was subbing at the time, and you play a show 8 times a week. You play a show 8 times a week, and it gets really tiring.
Yeah, it gets repetitive. I'm sure.
You start to find yourself looking around for other things to do, and I found that I was really good at marketing myself, and I wanted to do that for other musicians. So I created a company called Sound and Vision, and we were a marketing company for musicians and artists before there was like a MySpace or anything like that.
Oh, interesting. So,
Yeah.
So, and then you even wrote an ebook about your experience.
I did.
Where is that available, or is it available still?
It's it's available on for free on markensign.com, marcensign.com. And you can download that just by giving me your email address, and then I sell it off to Bed Bath & Beyond and get you a bunch of extra coupons and whatever else I do.
My wife will love you.
You can see it on the stream right now, but I think you messed up because it says, "Hi, my name is Mark," but you left out, "I'm an alcoholic."
So being an author is in your blood, because you're now writing another book here called Be a Dick, which is about your neighbor, whose name is Dick, by the way. I'm not being vulgar. That is the name of his neighbor. So tell us about this and what this is about.
Sure. So I moved here to Tampa about 3 years ago from New Jersey, and it was this quest for either a new life or a complete mental breakdown, depending on how you want to look at it. It was a I had turned 40, and I just I was bored. My life wasn't really where I wanted it to be. We just weren't happy, and so we decided to throw a dart at the map, and we ended up in Tampa. And it was all great until we got here. Like, we got here, we unpacked our stuff, moved into the house, looked around, and then all of a sudden that oh crap moment kind of comes up, and what am I going to do? So rather than stressing out everybody in the family, I go for a walk. I decide to I'm just going to leave my wife to unpack for herself. I take the kids out for a walk around the block, kind of talk myself off the ledge. The kids were my insurance policy to make sure I didn't start running back north. And at that time I run into this older guy that lives down the street. He's probably late 60s, and just this extraordinary guy. First thing he does, he gets down on, leans down on his knees, and he's talking to my kids on their level, just listening to him rattle on about Legos and American Girl dolls and all, what life was like in New Jersey. And they probably talk for 10 or 15 minutes while I'm just kind of standing there. And then, and who does that, for somebody else's kids, and then he starts talking to me, and instantly can tell that I'm just a ball of stress. And so he starts giving me all this advice. And just simple stuff hey, there's a really good Chinese food place down the street, and if you go here, here's where you want to get pizza from, and the code for the gate is 4890. Here's the garbage collection is Monday and Thursday. All that stuff that you don't really you don't really know when you move into a new neighborhood. And so we talked for a little while longer. It was time to go, and he goes, "Oh, one more thing. As you're hanging up pictures of those kids and everything else and around your house, if you need a ladder, let me know. I have 2, and you can use it anytime." And it was like that, that welcome to the neighborhood that you just don't see very often.
He was the textbook good neighbor that escaped us in society these days. We're all kind of in our shells in our house anymore.
Exactly. Usually you cross the street when you see a guy that's having a panic attack with 2 whiny kids, walking around. So we, fast forward a couple days, and I meet his wife. His wife is just as extraordinary. That we end up in their house. They're giving us a tour of their house, helping us for decorating our house.
And then he woke up 6 months later with no liver.
Well, little did this guy know I was a complete fraud. Exactly. So, and as it ends up, we're walking around the guy's house, in the corner of his living room, he has about a dozen Emmys sitting on a shelf. And I don't know. I know they don't give them away. So this guy must have done something. So I asked
another
him,
fraud like me. Yeah. He's got a bunch of stolen Emmys.
So we end up getting in that conversation. Ask him where it's from. He's like, it's just something I do, and really humble about it. And there's just all these qualities that over the course of the next couple months that I just absolutely loved about the guy. That were just so extraordinary that you just don't see in people. And then 2 months after living here, it was my birthday. Actually, and today's my birthday, by the way.
Okay. Happy
birthday. We're going to sing after this. I hope you guys are ready.
Actually, Josh is going to sing.
I want Josh to sing.
Only if I can do it in the version of Sloppy Seconds.
Yeah.
He's going to do the truffle shuffle for
you. Goonies never die, my friend.
Never.
So I See, now I completely lost my train.
I'm sorry about that. I do that often.
So my birthday rolls around, and he comes by the house, and he goes, he's got something behind his back, and he's like, hey, I saw on Facebook that it was your birthday, and so and what you don't know is the way he got those Emmys was he's a sports producer for ABC. And that's what he retired from, but he still does a couple things, like he does the Little League World Series and produces and directs and all that kind of stuff. And so he shows up and he's like, I knew you were a Red Sox fan because I'm always wearing the Red Sox hat, and I knew it was your birthday. So while I was producing a game, I went around and I found as many retired Red Sox players as I could find. They signed this ball for you for your birthday.
Oh, no way!
And so he hands me this baseball, and now I'm just completely blown away. And so from there, over the next 12 months, I start to implement all these things. Like this guy's really humble, so I start to, I spend a month focusing on like, how can I be more humble? Like, what can I do to be more grateful? What can I do to be, more outgoing, more, neighborly? And I take on all these different challenges, and it finds me in situations I wouldn't normally have been in, doing things I wouldn't normally do, to taking on that thing that scares the hell out of you. And so I just started kind of keeping notes on it, and it's turned into a bit of a book on that journey. It's kind of like part memoir, part, self-help.
Does he know you're writing the book? Are you still neighbors with him today, or is that still?
It took me taking him out to dinner, I think, about 4 times before I actually, had the guts to tell him, because that's weird, right? Mm-hmm. Like when someone says, "Hey, totally normal guy," I'm writing a book about you.
He probably went and looked at his bank statements to make sure that you weren't in some hotel in Hawaii under his name or something.
That's weird, like sneaking in, stealing play bills, and cutting phone books off of phone booths.
Right,
It's kind of weird, but I don't know anybody who does that.
Yeah, right. Yeah, if he knew that part of it, then he'd be really weird. Yeah, and so I told him about it, and he just, and the only reason I told him about it was because I got asked to do, where the book started was 2 years ago. A year and a half ago, I was asked to speak at Inbound, HubSpot's big marketing conference. And I told that story. I did this story about, Be a Dick, which is funny because the whole room filled up. Only because they were just excited about somebody coming in there doing a talk called Be a Dick, and like everybody was looking for somebody to be angry. Yeah, you're at a conference for 3 or 4 days, and like oh, finally somebody's gonna be angry.
Josh was there for a whole different reason.
And so I did the talk there, and then they filmed it and they put it online. And so one day we go out to dinner, and my wife and I and Dick and his wife. And so we get in the car, and right instantly, as soon as we get in the car, he's like, "So tell me about this thing that you're working on." So I was like, "What?" And he's like, "The book." And so that's kind of how we found out. We talked about it, and he's
Is that when you found yourself as a speaker too? Because you also do speaking engagements, and you've shared the stage, I know, with a number of well-known names. But is that when you became a speaker too, or were you doing that on the side already? How did that develop?
I used to do speaking gigs for basically for lead generation for my marketing business. Okay. So I would stand up in front of a room and talk about SEO and see how fast I could put people to sleep.
So that was a skill that you had already. So that necessarily wasn't the catalyst of the speaking career then.
I would use the word skill very loosely in that sense.
You just get up there and talk then. So you're
I would tell people about SEO and their heads would explode because they have no idea what the hell I'm talking about.
I don't know, but I see you've been on stage with Chelsea Clinton, Jarek Robbins, Gary Vaynerchuk. I mean, you've been on stage with a number of big names, and so how did you get alongside those? A little bit of fraud there involved there, and some other stories that we're going to hear.
Well, especially with the Clintons.
I knew that was coming.
I bet he's got a collection of restraining orders.
He uses unconventional methods to advance himself.
Donate to the corporation, right? And then you're on stage. That's all you got to do.
Yeah, he's one of the donors of the Clinton Foundation. There you go. Go ahead, continue.
Frank gets to slam Hillary. He's doing it.
I know. This is teed up right here. It's beautiful.
Actually, hold that.
Right for you.
I know. Actually, hold that point there. We're at the break time. So currently talking to, again, Mark Ensign. He is a consultant, writer, and speaker. And learn more about him over at markensign.com. And also alongside Frank Coto, who is my co-host for the program, president of Lincoln Lending Group. 1-813-MORTGAGE. You drop the E, he drops the fee, and you can learn more about him, lincolnlend.com. You're listening to That Business Show. Jamie Maloney, where business becomes show business. At Vein 911, we will help you feel great again. Do you have restless legs, night leg cramps, or ankle swelling? Restless legs, cramping, swelling, and tired heavy legs are often symptoms of hidden vein disease. You do not have to have visible bulging veins to have the symptoms of vein disease. The vein care specialists at Vein 911 are uniquely qualified to evaluate and treat your veins. Are you unhappy with your previous vein treatment? Vein 911 succeeds where others fail. Call Vein 911 today at 855-VEIN-911. That's 855-834-6911 to book your free consultation. Vein 911. We will help you feel great again.
Are you in need of new flooring or ready to tackle that home remodeling project? Then contact Yeager & Company Incorporated, a family-owned, state-certified general contracting business with over 70 years of experience and the recipient of the Angie's List Super Service Award for the last 8 years in multiple categories. Yeager & Company comes to you with their shop-at-home flooring sales service, and their hardwood flooring refinishing is the very best in the Bay. Kitchen and bath design featuring American-made, well-born cabinets, and all work is done by employees, not subcontractors. Learn more at YeagerFlooring.com.
If you've been following That Business Show on Facebook and Twitter, you may have noticed the quality of some of our images. That's because one of our sponsors is pro photographer Rick Taseda, a member of the Professional Photographers of America. You can view his extensive work by going to his website at ricktaseda.com or call him for an appointment to chat about your photography needs at 813-641-4757. That's 813-641-4757. Rick Taseda Visuals. Call him for your next event or project.
How many times have you said to yourself, I wish there was an app for that? Stop wishing and start making the world better. Turn your brilliant idea into a profitable business by using Popcorn apps. Their affordable app design will help get your blue sky idea or proven business to the next level at a fraction of the cost of other developers. They will help you get through all the steps needed to make your thoughts become live. See them at popcornapps.com with a K in popcorn, or call them at 727-415-6705 for your free consultation and pop your kernel of an idea into $1 million business and a world changer starting today.
In an age when the good and the better vie for attention, it is the best that stands out. The Best of Tampa Bay from Proudly Florida is the love story for the city of Tampa, celebrating success, sharing achievements, a tribute to enterprise and community spirit. Let Proudly Florida showcase your business to your city, your nation, and the world. For more information, email info@proudlyflorida.com and be sure to visit proudlyflorida.com.
Have you ever tried to buy a home for your family only to find out that you don't qualify for a mortgage loan? You thought that after 20 years as a customer of your bank, they would help you when you needed it the most, right? Unfortunately, the banks of today are not the banks of our parents and grandparents, and our relationships with them just don't matter anymore. My name is Frank Coto, and I'm the president of the Lincoln Lending Group. We all may need a bank, but we also need a Frank, and that's what I'm here to do for you today. Lincoln Lending Group will waive all of your lending fees, which include your mortgage, application fee, your underwriting fee, processing fees, and any bank points. Just call 813-MORTGAGE. You drop the E, and we'll drop the fee.
Who doesn't have a smartphone these days? And of course, there's an app for everything. Well, almost everything. That's why the folks at Popcorn Apps started developing mobile applications. They saw people like you with genius ideas, unable to make those thoughts a reality. They develop applications for tens of thousands of dollars less than you'll find anywhere else, and will turn your idea into a reality in a matter of just a few months. Think you're not ready? Think again. They are your one-stop shop for mobile application development. See them at popcornapps.com with a K in popcorn, or call them at 727-415-6705 for your free consultation and pop your kernel of an idea into $1 million business and a world changer starting today.
From the RP Funding Traffic Network.
Gusty winds on the Sunshine Skyway Bridge, but the road remains open. Same goes for all the other bridges. No delays to report in Tampa on 275 or I-4. Have a crash on eastbound Gibsonton Drive just east of I-75. It's now off to the side. See traffic problems? Call the injury firm of Abrahamson Uterick, Hillsborough Traffic Tip Line 866-545-9595.
This report is brought to you by Unbound. Around the world, there are young people who face a difficult decision: continue their dream of education or drop out to help support their families. In a single moment, you can help them write a new story. See potential, not poverty, at unbound.org.
Flood watch for the coastal counties. Tropical storm warning for Pasco County North. 80% chance of showers today, high 83. Tonight, some heavy downpours, low 78.
You're listening to That Business Show with Jamie Maloney on 1250 Wins WHNZ. Missed a show? Then head over to TampaBayRadio.com, where all shows are available on demand. Once again, here's your host, Jamie Maloney.
And we're back to That Business Show. Jamie Maloney, where business becomes show business. Alongside Frank Coto, president of the Lincoln Lending Group. And you can visit lincolnlend.com if you're in the need for a mortgage, or pick up the phone and give his office a call at 813-MORTGAGE. You drop the E, he drops the fee. He can help you with anything from FHA and conventional loans to VA and some private money options as well. So Frank Coto and his team over at Lincoln Lending Group can definitely be your resource for all of your lending needs. In studio with the guest Mark Ensign, consultant, writer, and speaker, and owner of Mark Ensign Digital Marketing Strategist. And you're starting this is a new venture of yours, right, where you're focusing on consulting for speakers and authors. And so tell me a little bit about your business as it is now.
Sure. So, well, I'm right in that transition stage. So this is the part where I start to defraud, steal my way into the lives and the hearts and the minds of the people that I want to work with.
Mm-hmm.
so yeah, I'm looking for I work for a lot of those like speakers that have a message, the authors that have a message, companies that have that want to change the world, like as corny and as weird as it sounds. I've always had this desire to make a difference, and I think we all kind of do to some degree, and except maybe Frank. Frank just. No, it's
just saying.
Go ahead.
So I kind of I had this gift for being able to create things online, and so I figured what better way to make a difference than to find all the people that have that message, that have that desire to make a difference, and then help kind of push them up where they want to go. Because I just have a gift for being able to get on that stage or make that thing happen. And and
you're also utilizing a lot of digital marketing techniques, something that's becoming more and more in play with business and stuff. And so talk to me a little bit how some of your strategies for helping the speakers and the authors and the mission driven business leaders, the people that is going to be your niche. I mean, how you're going to get them in front of people and help them perfect their craft.
Sure. I'm a firm believer in being an expert in your industry. I mean, if you want to get somewhere, you have to. I mean, you really have to know your stuff, and you have to be an expert at what you do, because there's so many. There is no monopoly out there in whatever industry you're in. There's always going to be somebody that's going to compete against you, and if they have a louder voice or a better voice or a more clear tone of what they want to do, they're going to win. They're going to win the business, even if you're 1,000 times better, 1,000 times bigger. Doesn't matter. So what I like to, where I come from is positioning, taking, even no matter how big your company is, finding that one person within the company that can really shine, that can, that has the knowledge to be an expert in that industry, and position them in a way where they are kind of like the Wikipedia of their industry, like where you talk
about and you talk about digital influence too. Mm-hmm. I mean, you've worked with a number of Fortune 500 companies, Nike, American Express, Berkshire Hathaway. Explain a little bit more what you mean by the term digital influence.
Well, I think that we all with social media and with websites and with email marketing and all that, if it comes down to getting somebody to make a decision, getting somebody to do something, to take action, to buy something, requires influence. It requires being positioning yourself in a way where you're clearly a leader in your field, and being the type of person that is influential. So when I talk about taking somebody that is from a company that's mission driven, a lot of times they don't like to share that. They're just off on the side doing their doing their thing. They donate. They maybe give away products. Buy one, give one kind of thing, and they don't really tell anybody about it. And that's where I think a lot of companies go wrong. Where if especially in the world where you're talking about millennials, like millennials are looking for to work with, to work for, to be involved with companies that are very mission based,
right?
That they have that need to make a difference, and companies aren't really catching on to it fast enough. They're doing a lot of the stuff. They're just not putting themselves out there as companies that are actually doing this stuff.
And so what do you see as your biggest challenge when you're working with these millennials or versus these CEOs? I mean you're dealing with dominant type A personalities a lot of times. I mean, do you have difficulties in kind of getting them to see the path that they need to be put on? Tell me about just some of the challenges that you face each day in this line of business.
A lot of people don't see the value in that, because like with social media is a very similar thing where it's okay, let's dump some money into social media, and okay, I tweeted, nobody bought anything, let's give up on this thing.
Right.
Let's forget it doesn't work. And what you don't realize is that it's not about I tweeted so somebody's going to buy something. It's about building that relationship.
Mm-hmm.
And so then when the time comes that somebody does want to buy something, that's when they start looking. That's when they start seeing your face, and all of a sudden it makes sense. Same thing with that kind of that expert thing. It's like, well, I want to sign people that are ready to buy. Well, people aren't ready to buy until they do 6 months worth of research or 3 months worth of research, or they're looking online, they're digging around. And if you're positioned as that expert, if you're giving them the answers, you're building rapport, you're connecting with them on that level. When it does come time for them to buy, they're just instantly going to start with you.
Yeah, that's the same challenge that I face, like, with the radio and sponsors. They come on the show and nobody calls and they want to give up right away. It's like, it's about building an image. It's about building a brand, and you got to have a plan. Maybe radio's not part of it. I'm not saying it has to be part of it, but you got to commit to something. And just like I'm doing the radio show over the years, I'm starting to see more and more results as it goes on. But it's not an overnight thing. You're right. Somebody sends out a tweet, oh, nobody responded, I'm not doing that anymore. It's hard to convince people because we live in the society of instant gratification these days.
Right. And it's about patience. Gary Vaynerchuk had a video that I thought was brilliant that talked about it, where they're talking about what's the ROI of social media, and he compared it to like, what's the ROI of your mother? Because your mother raised you from what is there an ROI for every time she had to wipe your nose, or for every time that she had to change a diaper, or every time that she taught you something?
Some people can't get only think monetarily. You're right. There's value in other things that are not necessarily financial, direct financially. So I never heard that reference before. That was a clever one right there.
You just made my hugs and kisses that I gave my mom worthless.
But Josh, what would you pay somebody to wipe you every day?
Josh is like, is this a service that's still available out there?
Hugs and kisses. I do not accept.
But no, excellent discussion and some good stories. We got to wrap up the hour here. It goes by very quickly. So Mark Ensign, greatly appreciate you being in studio today.
My pleasure.
Good stuff.
Thanks, guys.
And again, Mark is a consultant, writer, and speaker, and you can learn more about him over at markensign.com. Also, thank you to Frank. Frank, great job today, man.
Hey, it's always fun being here, Jamie.
And keep in mind, he does the Business Happy Hour. It's on Sunday mornings on 970 WFLA at 5 a.m. and then live on Fridays at 12:30, right?
You got it. Find us on the internet.
At the Business Happy Hour website, which is BHTT.
TBH.
I hate acronyms, man. Yeah, it's the Business Happy Hour acronym.tv.
Just
so
look
check
at
it out.
Business Happy Hour. You're good.
Just get up at 5 a.m. and listen.
No, don't do that.
You've been listening to That Business Show with Jamie Maloney, where business becomes show business.